It's a matter of education and letting people know, what is important of protecting biodiversity. In the way that people have some sense that they have some ownership, it's not just the government imposing the rules, but these parks are our parks. And when it comes to that, people really get involved in protection.
We're recording bee nest heights and the orientation of where they fly into.
There are basically 3 different groups of wasps in this colony. They have the males, the reproductive females, and the sterile females. And so they will forage and bring food for the larvae that are developing here.
My biggest thing that I'm trying to accomplish is how to ask the right question and then how to develop the procedure and eventually try to come up with an answer. So although I don't want to be an ecologist, I want to be a doctor, I want to do research. So I think learning how to think critically and learning how to ask the right questions and then how to come up with your own methods and your own procedures and how you're going to tackle that question, I think that's what I really want to gain out of it. And then other than that, just a great understanding of the tropical ecosystems.
OTS is a consortium of 60 academic institutions, universities from the United States, Mexico, Costa Rica, Brazil, South Africa, and Australia that get together to perform different activities on research, education, and also on conservation on the tropics.
Thank you.
Why is it called a vampire bat?
Well, because these ones actually are the only bats that drink blood. And this is the biggest one of the 3 of the vampire bats in the country. And then this guy only feed from mammal blood. The other 2 drink bird and mammal, and the last one only drink bird blood.
The consortium was created in 1963 with the idea of facilitating different member institutions at that time. 4 that were the pioneer institutions, to facilitate them to the logistics to come into the tropics and performing their different activities, both education but also research. So the main reason why we exist is to facilitate academic institutions with research and education opportunities for their alumni.
My name is Teresa Bolanin, and I am a zoology student at Kent State University. We're focusing right now on the euglossine bees, which are a solitary bee. They're commonly known as orchid bees, and what makes them rather unique is that the males go from orchid to orchid and collect the scent from the orchid and put them on these sacs that are on their rear legs. So then they create kind of like a perfume to attract female orchid bees. And we believe there's a preference for each individual scent.
A lot of the presumptions of science to non-scientists, sometimes it seems like everything's like foolproof. A lot of people probably think things cannot go wrong, when in fact things go wrong more often than none. There's a lot of trial, there's a lot of error, there's a lot of troubleshooting, re-experimenting. There's a lot to deal with because you're always trying to do something new. And when you're trying to break new ground, you're potentially the first person to even attempt the experiment, which means there's a certain degree of uncertainty that comes with that.
So our experiment is we are trying 5 different chemicals plus a control, which is water, and we're trying to see if there's a preference for each scent based on the species of bee, and we're determining that by morphotype or color of the bee, and sometimes there are different sizes as well to help distinguish the different species.
My name is Carlos de la Rosa. I'm the director of the La Selva Biological Station, which is one of the 3 field stations of the Organization for Tropical Studies here in northern Costa Rica. The function is to promote and facilitate scientific research by researchers, by students in courses, and also encourage and promote the sustainable management of natural resources. We host an enormous number of people here every year. About 10,000 people come to La Selva, and that includes about 300 researchers with over 150 different projects, and they study here anything from bacteria to the whole ecosystem, everything in between, birds and insects and plants of all kinds. We host over 100 different university level courses as well here at the station, and we also bring in naturalists, photographers, and the public in general, visitors, ecotourists as we call them, to come to the station and also learn a little bit of what a place like this is. This is a very beautiful example of a well-preserved tropical rainforest, lowland tropical rainforest. In closing, I have dedicated my whole life to working in field biology and environmental management, and especially in field stations. To me, it has become my passion, my career. Everything that I do, my writing, my photography, and my science is with the purpose of advancing knowledge and creating those bridges. There are great opportunities for careers in science in places like La Selva. You have to take that first step. Just come and visit, just take one course, take one opportunity, even if coming as a tourist, and experience a little bit what it means to be in a tropical forest like this. Towards the end of my career now, of almost 30 years or 35 years as a biologist, I feel like I feel like a kid in a toy store being in here, I'm surrounded by nature.